Howdy, everyone. Hey. Howdy, everyone. It's Sam. I hope you're all doing really well. If you're new around here, I hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. And if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. The West Tigers throughout the week would have thought to themselves, we're coming up against Luciano Leilua. James Tarmel is playing game 300. The young West Tigers coach, Ben Gardner, is in instead of Brett Kamali, who got struck down by COVID. So we're going to go up to Townsville and ambush them. The only problem is that they didn't account for the fact that the referees were going to ambush them. Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most extraordinary finishes, one of the most dramatic games of the season. North Queensland Cowboys getting away with murder, 27 points to 26. What an unbelievable game of rugby league. I just want to go into the live chat. Everybody that's tuning in live, thank you very much for dropping by and saying g'day. G'day, Jason Reader. How are you, mate? Tiger Walker. Bro, let whatever you want to let rip fly, all right? And I'll get you to, I'll say g'day to you and call out your comments, man. Bosky, hey, bro, he reckons Tigers got robbed. William Hunt, hey, man, how you going? Jason Reader, again, William Hunt, what a clincher. What a bullshit call from National Sports Loaded. One of the most softest penalties I have seen this season. And Mr. Rugby League Roundup is in the house as well. Has anyone seen a more dramatic finish in months? That was absolutely unbelievable. The North Queensland Cowboys completed at just a tick over 50% in that first half. That second half came about. They played with a lot more control and they sort of starved the West Tigers of good ball possession in that second half. And then with 5 minutes to go, Valentine Holmes slotted the field goal to make it 25-18. And they put the cue in the rack with 5 minutes to go, forgetting that they were the side that scored 3 tries in 7 minutes only a month or so ago. My bloody goodness. It's really hard, isn't it, to come on here straight away and talk about what the hell just happened, man. I'll just go into more comments here. Rugby League Roundup, just Ashley Klein needs to go. Tiger Walker, that was one of the worst calls he's ever seen. Bro, can I just quickly say to you, you should be very proud of the West Tigers today. They've had a really ordinary season, but today, gee whiz, they had a lot of pride in that jersey, man. William Hunt, Dane Laurie was man of the match for me, and he's a Cowboys fan, and I'll get into who my man of the match will be towards the end of this stream. Agreed, Tigers deserve to win this one. Rugby League Roundup says, I hope this doesn't happen next Sunday, bro. Yes, Rugby League Roundup is a St. George Illawarra Dragons fan. National Sports Loaded says, but what's still an insane game, didn't not expect to be this close. And Gemstone Gaming, hi there, man. Same Cowboys should have sinned by tons more. Should have won by tons more, man. Oh, man. Where do you... I guess the best place to start is right at the beginning. North Queensland Cowboys got on the board inside 90 seconds. It was a nice play from Jason Taumalolo to get the ball back on the inside to Reece Robson, who carted it up approximately 20-odd meters, and then he threw it back the other way in for Tom Dearden, and Tom Dearden ran away and scored the very first try of the contest. And then the Cowboys, they just couldn't complete their sets, man, as I stated before, and it was Brent Naden that made them pay first by going over in the corner and locking it up at 6 points all after only 11 minutes. And you thought, right, you can just cop it on the chin there and let's get back into the game now, guys. Then in the 15th minute, this was a really nice play to keep the Cowboys just a little bit more on track. That Luke Brooks, the Tigers were in the attacking 20-meter zone. Luke Brooks put in a really cool grubber. And then Scott Drinkwater, who had a 50-50 afternoon, secured the ball in the in-goal area, passed it to Kyle Felt in the in-goal area, and Kyle Felt got it back out into play. And then there wouldn't be any more points for another 6 more minutes. And unfortunately, it was pretty soft, with more possession dropped by North Queensland and more pressure being applied by the West Tigers. It was Farmanu Brown, who I've been a fan of since he made his return earlier this season. It was Brown that barged over his way over the try line from only 2 meters out, sort of thing. And then it was the West Tigers that were up 12 points to 6. There was a try scoring opportunity for Cohen Hess only 5 minutes later, but it was a knock on from Cohen Hess, and I agree with that decision. And then in the 36th minute, punished us again, the West Tigers, because of a lack of discipline from us for penalties, and lack of ball control. It was Asa Kapoa that went over and scored the next try. And it was 16 points to 6 going in at halftime. And it wasn't the best game of footy, but gee whiz, when the Cowboys showed that if the passes stick, they can play some fantastic footy on a dry surface, man. But the passes weren't sticking today. And if those passes do stick in the future, gee whiz, they're going to be a fantastic team to watch. I'll just go back into the chat again. Rugby League history. Hey, dude, thank you for dropping by and saying good day. Sam feels alive. Memories are spoken from Deadly Soul. Well, man, you're singing a song I don't know of, bro. Tiger Walker, when Dearden scored after a minute, I was expecting a long night. Yeah, I was hoping it'd be a long night for Tigers fans. Wasn't meant to be. Rugby League Roundup, that game must have put all Cowboys fans and Tigers. Oh, dude, I'm absolutely staggering at the moment. Rugby League history says Sam has 1 minute to save the shotgun Blues. And then Paddy G, hey, man, Cowboys suck. Why, bro? They don't suck, man. They're coming second. They are now a clear second, sitting on top of the NRL ladder after 19 rounds. Wow, what an extraordinary game. And Rugby League history, Patrick Wilbergain, yo, dude. So going into halftime, you thought to yourself that, right, the Origin Stars have been away for 2 weeks. And they had a really long turnaround. Their previous match was on the Friday last week. And so they came out and they were probably too arrogant. And for me, I said on my tip show on Tuesday night that I think we can win by 30 plus. I think all of North Queensland were too complacent, didn't respect the Tigers enough, and didn't anticipate the sort of fight they were going to put up today, man. And they got into the sheds at halftime, and they obviously rectified things, because in the very first set, Cowboys received possession and they just had a lot more directness about them. They completed their sets, and then things started to get a little bit wobbly, but I'll go into what happened. So unfortunately, the Cowboys put in a captain's challenge because it was deemed that they had ripped the ball out from the West Tigers in their first set of 6 in the second half. And unfortunately, the bunkers ruled that Gilbert stripped. So therefore, Tigers then went up 18 points to 6. Cowboys down by 12 points to start the second half. Not a good start. And then in the 47th minute, this is where the game started to wheel back into our favor. It was in the 47th minute where Kyle Felt made a half break from after the Tigers kicked possession, completed their set and kicked downfield. Kyle Felt made a half break, and then the Tigers just laid on him for too long. Penalty was blown, and then a minute later, Scott Drinkwater fanged the ball out to Holmes. And on Valentine Holmes' birthday, he ran 10 meters to go over and get the first try of the second half, thus making it 18 points to 12. And then 7 minutes later, in the 54th minute, Jeremiah Nanai was coming out of trouble. I think it was on his 30-meter line. And then the Tigers gave away another penalty. The ensuing set of 6, it was Chad Townsend that got the ball, fanged it out to Tom Dearden, and Tom Dearden put Jeremiah Nanai into a lovely gap. And Jeremiah Nanai sprinted away 20, 30-odd meters to score the next try. And thus we were locked up again at 18 points all. Just going back into the chat now, Rugby League Roundup with Scott Drinkwater hooked. Well, I'll get into it in just a sec. So the very next set of 6 after the Cowboys received possession again, it was deemed that Ken Mamalo shoulder charged young Tommy Dearden on the halfway line. And while he was caught in a really like a rock and a hard place, Ken Mamalo, I do think it was a shoulder to the head of Tom Dearden, and Ken Mamalo was then sent to the sin bin. And then for the next 10 minutes, the Tigers, they proved that they were no easy beats today, man. They were so good for that 10-minute period. There were no points put on them inside that 10-minute period. So well done. Congratulations to the Tigers in that aspect of the game today. And then to answer Rugby League Roundup question, in the 65th minute, Scott Drinkwater was not hooked. I just think it was part of the game plan for him to go off and for Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow to come on and play fullback for the last 15 or so minutes. So that's what happened. Mind you, Scott Drinkwater, as I said before, had a 50-50 game today, man. He did some nice things, got us out of trouble, but I think he might have had about 4 or so errors, man. So could have been a hooking. I don't think it was. I think it was just all part of the natural game plan. Will, hey, man, how are you? Was that a legitimate penalty at the end? New subscriber, thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. And if you are new around here watching, I hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. And Will, please stick around, man. I'm going to get to it very, very shortly. Robert M., hey, Sam, what do you think the Cowboys need to do to win next week? Super glue their hands, man. Just dry off their hands, bro. It was just simply possession. If they hold on to the ball and continue to play razzle-dazzle for the entire game, they really could have racked up a cricket score, but just those passes did not stick today. And I don't think it looked all that muggy. It looked like a dry, sunny day up there in Townsville this afternoon. But, oh, man, they need some bloody super glue and the old powder for next week, man. Will, who have they got next week? They are down traveling to Sydney for the third time in 2022 to take on the St. George Illawarra Dragons at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. Georgios Arambatis, I hope I enunciated your last name correctly. The NRL is rigged, man. If you're a West Tigers fan, bro, I do just lay it on thick, bro. Just unleash hell, and I'll read out your comments. Robert M., Sharks or Roosters? No, man, it's the Dragons. Giorgio comes in again and says we are going to get the spoon now because of that bullshit call. Don't know, man. If you guys continue to play that sort of style of football, we saw what the Gold Coast Titans did today. Titans defensively were just non-existent in that first half. There's still a chance that Tigers don't get that wooden spoon, but if you guys do get it, well, gee whiz, you look back to this game then, don't you? It's a good point, Georgios. And then going Robert M. Paddy G says Cowboys with the biggest heist of the century. I think it's up there. I'll say that it's up there. I don't think it's the biggest, but it's certainly up there. Cowboys are pretenders? Nah, bro. Nah, come on. Let's calm down here. And then going into Georgios' next comment, seriously, it's hard enough to be a Tigers fan already. Dude, I can't even imagine, bro. Like, honestly, you guys were probably the better team. You guys were probably the better team today, man. It's just in certain areas, man, just lapses in concentration for the Tigers. And I'll get more into it now. So Hammer came on, and then in the 68th minute, and this is a really nice segue. Thank you, Georgios. In the 68th minute, Luke Brooks and Kelma Tuolangi were menaces on that side, attacking Chad Townsend, trying to make him miss his tackles, and Jeremiah Nanai as well. I thought Tuolangi was really, really good, but then it was Luke Brooks and Tuolangi who combined again, and it was either it was a miscommunication. Luke Brooks passed the ball right off of Tuolangi's shoulders, and it landed right in the lap of Jeremiah Nanai, and Jeremiah Nanai sprinted away to score his second try of the afternoon, thus making it 24 points to 18. And then 6 minutes later, with a lot more possession, it was Valentine Holmes that received the ball from Chad Townsend, and it was Valentine Holmes that scored a field goal, 25 points to 18 with 5 minutes to go. When, I personally thought glasses down, but the West Tigers said, fuck no. Excuse my language. I'll pause there. Hey, Max Angelopoulos, how are you, man? Thank you very much for tuning in and saying g'day. Smack the Dragons next week so I can rub it into me, brother. No worries, bro. Well, I'll tell you what, the Cowboys need to rub some friggin' flour into their palms of their hands come next week. And then in the 75th minute, so once Valentine Holmes scored the field goal, short kickoff, and Kyle Felt just punched it directly into, punched the ball directly into James Tarmo's lap. West Tigers went bang, bang, bang. And it was Brent Naden that went over and scored a try. And Adam Dewey, his goal kicking today was something that kept us in the game. So it was 25 points to 22 because he missed the conversion. And then it was another couple of more minutes. And then inside the final 90 seconds, the West Tigers, Dane Laurie, holy shit, bro. Dane Laurie was man of the match out of everyone on that paddock today. It was Dane Laurie that was absolutely sensational today. He broke up field, passed the ball out to Stafford Toa, and Toa ran 30-odd meters to score a try in the corner, and the clock counted down. And you're just sitting there as a Cowboys fan like, come on, man, can we please blow the whistle? Can you please give us a chance just to give us a short kickoff restart, please? And then with 5 seconds to go, the clock stopped counting down. And then Adam Dewey, attempted the conversion, and it bounced off of the goalpost, and it was 26 points to 25. And we needed a miracle. The North Queensland Cowboys, they needed a miracle. And just before I go on, I'll go in one more time into the chat. Georgios says, well, we got the Roosters, Broncos, Canberra, and Knights. Yeah, Tigers do have a tough run home, but boy, howdy, they're going to be rolled up next week. The Tigers better prepare to be beaten by Brisbane. Oh, bro, agreed. Dane Laurie was in God mode. Yeah, man, he was absolutely brilliant today. Rugby League Roundup. Don't go over the round 8 and not even seek the politest cheats. Oh, okay. Robert M says, Sam, since the Tigers beaches, Brisbane will teach them a lesson. And Giorgio says, Dane Laurie played amazing. Haven't seen him play that good since last year or ever. It's arguably his best game in West Tigers colours, for sure. Dane Laurie was absolutely brilliant this afternoon and would deserve the 3 Dally M points from whoever the judge is. And so now we come to the crunch time. To all 13 of you that are in the live chat right now, thank you very much for tuning in. So now we get to the crunch time. It was a short kickoff, and it looks like it went just way too far. Like, I think it landed somewhere in between the 30-meter zone area, and it was deemed that... where do you start with this? So it was deemed that Kapoa arced his line towards the ball, thus stopping Kyle Felt from running his straight line to it or trying to have an attempt to catch the ball. I believe that the Tigers did take possession of the ball. And Brandy Alexander, I was watching the Fox League coverage, and Brandy Alexander was blowing up Deluxe about the possibility, or not the possibility, but you can't challenge a play unless if it's dead. And the West Tigers caught that ball, and time would have run out, but then the referee said, no, do you want to challenge it, Chad Townsend? Chad Townsend came in and he challenged it, and Brandy's going, well, no, the Tigers haven't knocked it on. Ball hasn't gone out of play. It should be game over. And that's a really, really fair comment to make. Do I think Kapoa... There is the Kapoa. There is a bend in his line, but 9 times out of 10, man, that shouldn't have been blown a penalty. And I think on the one time it was given a penalty, it was today. And then Valentine Holmes, on his birthday, stepped up to the plate. He's been kicking goals for fun in 2022, and his fantastic conversion rate saved North Queensland Cowboys bacon, and it was the Cowboys that ran away with the victory, 27 points to 26 in a remarkable game of rugby league that will be spoken about for ages, man. And to everybody that's tuning in right now, thank you very much for dropping by and saying g'day. I've just come up to the end of the coming up to the end of the review now, man. I'll just go into the chat again. Rugby League Roundup. I forgot about Dane Laurie till tonight. Nanai saved the Cowboys with his 2 important tries. Then Will, I was rooting for the Cowboys, but I thought it was a dodgy call. Internet dropped out, so I couldn't go back and check. Oh, no, man. You must have been bloody on the edge of your seat, man. Tiger Walker, I was also blowing up in my lounge, bro. I don't like, man. Tigers were probably the better side tonight, man. Where are we? Do you think Ken should have been sent to the sin bin? I think so, man. I mean, yeah, I do think Mamala should have. I think it was a shoulder charge, but not in there was no malice. There was no intent. It's just he was caught in no man's land, bro. And he had no other option but to sort of just brace himself. And then it was a shoulder with direct contact to the head, to the melon of Tom Dearden. And that's why he was sent to the sin bin. Jack O'Hare, Tigers were robbed. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. And Laurie, man of the match. What a player. I agree with that. I believe it is it disappointing Chad Townsend took one run tonight? No, not necessarily, man. Chad Townsend, I think the most he's ran in a game or hit up in a game was approximately 6 or 8 times in one game. So one run, he was more focused on the kicking game. I would have liked to have seen Tom Dearden kick the ball a little bit more, but no, Chad Townsend was focused on his kicking game, and he wasn't too bad tonight, Chad. He was absolutely shadowed by Kelma Tuolangi tonight, who was great for them this afternoon. He had a rough patch or had a really rough go of it this afternoon, but yeah, Jacko here did and may be in trouble for the eye poke. Yeah, I only saw that fleetingly. I don't think I don't know. I think it was just a pure accident, man. I don't think Tom Dearden went and stuck it into the eye of him. But I'd have to rewatch it. I mean, just so much happened in that game just then. It's insane. Tiger Walker says, I was about to have a party when Toa scored, bro. I would have been having a party. I would have been calling the strippers to come over to my house and say, let's get it on. Fair income. Jacko here says, yeah, Tiger too, but the bunker killed it. Yeah, dude. Excuse me. Sorry about if you can hear the dogs in the background. Yeah, sorry. I've said it 15 times now, man. And to everybody that's still coming in and tuning in, thank you very much for the support. So it was North Queensland Cowboys that got out of jail and defeated the West Tigers. It's actually the first time the Cowboys have defeated the Tigers in Townsville since 2014, and it just looked like that the hoodoo was going to remain, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. Lagging ball sucks. Lagging ball sacks. I apologize. Tigers were robbed. That's fair enough, man. That's fair. I can't disagree with you there, bro. I won't even argue with you. To all Tigers fans, if you want to come in and just spew your guts, man, that's fine, and I'll comment. Georgios says, I haven't been a footy fan for that long, but I don't think I've ever seen a worse call in my life, and I'm not being biased. No, dude, your opinion, and she's if the shoe was on the other foot, bro, there'd be multiple holes in every single wall in this goddamn bedroom. Man. And then Georgios, how are the Cowboys even allowed to captain? That's the point that I was trying to not so eloquently explain. And that's what Greg Alexander was blowing up in the box about on the Fox League coverage, that Tigers caught the ball off the short restart from the North Queensland Cowboys, and it should have just been then. It should have just been dead then and there. So how were they allowed to challenge it? Not too sure. We all need to hear what Mr. Graham Annesley is going to say tomorrow afternoon. Jacko here says, oh, well, such as that. That's exactly right. I mean, how many times have Cowboys been robbed? How many times has your team been robbed in the past? So, but man, this is a really tough pill to swallow for all US Tigers fans, because you really put a lot of pride into that jersey. You really wanted to give it a good crack for James Tarmo. You really wanted to give it a good crack for the young coach, Ben Anderson or Ben Grant. I think Anderson, or the young man that was in the box today. Rugby League Roundup says, met Blake Laurie yesterday. Not talking about Blake Laurie. Jacko here, true Georgios, the ref lost control at the end. Yeah, man. Good job, Bunker. You just pissed off every Tigers fan. Yeah, dude. So It is. He's my favorite forward. Yo, dude. So I think we're just gonna we're gonna get into the my Cowboys, man. Look, the overarching man of the match today in this game overall is Dane Laurie. He was unreal. But I think for the North Queensland Cowboys, my bronze medalist, whilst he had a couple of really bad reads in defense, I think Kyle Felt with his go forward was he really helped us coming out of our own trouble. But again, some of his reads in defense left a lot to be desired. He did leak 2 or 3 tries this afternoon, but I'd still put him as my bronze medalist. I think Luciano Leilua was really, really good for us, even though it was him that not allowed, but it was him that was responsible for having Dane Laurie break down field and for the Tigers to score that final try inside that final minute. I do think Luciano Leilua had a big game up against his old club, and I think his old club had a big game against him. And I'll also just go into the chat again. Sorry, guys, I've said that maybe 20 times. Maxo, hey, dude, yo, dude. Jacqueline Dixon, hey. There have been times when the Cowboys have been robbed. Absolutely. Jacko here. Press goes on about Walsh being great. Laurie is better. Well, at the moment, it's 50-50, in my opinion. What was your worst player tonight for the Cowboys? No, I don't want to single anyone out, man. They would know. Why am I saying we? They would know that that they did not play their best footy tonight, and they know what they need to do. It's very simple as well. They just need to hold the goddamn ball, and I think that's now 4 times. I think that's the 4th week in a row now that they've leaked 26 points. So that needs to be rectified. And Ruben Cotter comes back for us next week against the St. George Illawarra Dragons. So that's going to be massive. William Hunt says Drinkwater was shocking, in my opinion. Look, as I said, he had a 50-50 game and he definitely dropped the ball 4 or so times. But he was also responsible for putting Valentine Holmes over for a try and getting us out of our in-goal area as well. Giorgio says, I wish the Tigers could appeal the result. Oh, man, that's opened up a can of worms now there, isn't it, eh? And the owner will need to make it clear about when the bunker can be used because it's inconsistent. And can I just quickly evolve from your point, Will, mate, and say that at the very start of the year, before a ball had even been kicked off, they said that the bunker, they're going to wipe the slate clean, and the rules and interpretations are going to be this, this, and this. And by God Almighty, they have not maintained. They have been terribly inconsistent. No one knows what a grade 1 is. No one knows what a reckless is or whatever. It's an absolute lottery so far as what these new rules are, man. So that's just something I really wanted to say there. And Rugby League Roundup, hold the ball in here to help complete Cowboys sets. he might have a couple of good ideas. And then Giorgio says Walsh is better, Laurie. And then bunker is crap. And well, they destroy the game. She says, yeah, Ashley Klein was chosen to be the State of Origin referee, and I thought he actually had a very decent series. I think he actually had a good series. But today, man, he's got the microscope spotlight on him, and the Tigers are going to have their claws out for Ashley Klein for the rest of the season. I wonder if Ashley Klein is going to be the main referee next week for the Broncos West Tigers game. Can't wait to see when Klein is the referee for the next West Tigers game. That's going to be bloody interesting. That is. Holy shit. Georgios, you guys rarely use the hammer. I'm surprised there hasn't been interest from other clubs. And if you stay tuned to my channel over the next week or so, I'm going to get into why I'm fearing that we're going to lose one of our superstars to somebody, because we're pretty stacked. We're pretty stacked at the moment. And for him to only play 15 minutes this afternoon, not really have a position in the side and be preferred instead of Scott Drinkwater, yeah, there could be alarm bells ringing there. And I hope the Tigers beat the Broncos since I'm going. And, mate, I hope you have a fantastic evening. I hope the West Tigers put in the same sort of effort, same sort of pride that they in the jersey like they did this afternoon, mate. I really hope they put in a good performance for you. They were $7 this afternoon. They might be even bigger outsiders next week, but hey, man, anything's possible. Jacko Hughes says hard for the Tigers to back that up, but hopefully they do. Exactly right. And well said, mate. Well said. Now you're pushing for the friendship, Tiger Walker. Well, and by the way, so my bronze medalist is Kyle Felt, my silver medalist is Luciano Leilua, and without Valentine Holmes today, without his goal kicking, without him, we wouldn't have won that contest. So yeah, dude, I think Valentine Holmes gets my man of the match, and just a special mention to Jake Granville today. There was a moment there where Jake Granville and Griffin then came on at the same time for Jermaine Tunua-Brown and Jason Taumalolo, and I thought that while we were still at 6s and 7s in that first half, I think Jake Granville and Griffin Neem were really good for us, in particularly Jake Granville in defence, and he was just cutting the ball up like a bloody front row at stages as well there, Jake Granville. In rugby league history, West Tigers versus Gold Coast is the next edition of the Spoon Bowl. It's unfortunate those two teams are facing each other for the rest of the season, man. Rugby League Roundup wants to ask, what do you think of Chris Butler? Gee whiz. I think he had a decent game. It's hard to, I think he had a decent game. This game was more affected by the bunker more than anything, man. But I think he was okay. I'm a member, so I'm meeting the team the night before, mate. You go up there and buy him a beer, mate. Giorgio says, I swear if the spoon, if they get the spoon because of this game, man. And look, at the moment, it's unfortunately a possibility. And Rugby League Roundup, Nanai was my man of the match, made 200 meters, 2 tries. Yeah, look, maybe I'm wrong in my system, but 200 meters, both of a lot of those meters came from those 2 tries. Maybe I'm wrong in my man of the match podium, but look, I do think Valentine Holmes was the difference. In the end, he wasn't the best player on the field. That was, again, Dane Laurie. And Will says, thank you for your breakdown, man. So easy to listen to. So glad I came across your channel. Dude, that is really sweet of you to say. I really appreciate that. And, mate, please, everybody tune in to this channel on Tuesday night. I'm going to be joined by Kate Cornish and North Queensland Gold Stars player Theophilia Mosby Nona, and we're going to preview Cowboys Dragons. We're going to touch on her career. We're going to talk about the upcoming NRLW season as well. That's the next time that you can catch me live on this channel. And I'm also going to be doing a tips episode as always as well. Wow. Holy crap. Wow. Thank you all very much for the support to rugby league history that's still in there. Georgios, Will, everyone that's tuned in. Thank you very much, guys. North Queensland Cowboys get out of jail. 27 points to 26. What an absolutely insane game. Thank you, everybody. Take care.